everyone. Welcome to the Performers Pod. I'm Chelsea Poe, and today I'm with alt porn icon, in my opinion, Jessie Lee. Thank you so much for joining the podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can tell now, but I was like full blown an emo scene girl in high school.
I saw your pictures that you posted that you went from emo to goth to trans.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I'm just basic as hell now. So that's kind of where I ended up. That's like totally my transition. So I like was super not interested in porn. I've always been a lesbian. So I like came out, I think I was like 12 or 13 or super young. So when my first girlfriend showed me porn, it terrified me. But it wasn't until I saw stuff like Burning Angel when I was like 18, 19 that I was like, oh, wow, there's like girls who I want to look like, girls who I'm into who are doing porn, and your porn with Joanna Angel was some of that. So
Yay.
Yeah, I would love to hear like how you got into porn. I've had a few people from like the alt porn scene on this before. I don't know if you know who Bella Vendetta is.
I know Bella.
Yeah. She was on and talked about kind of like the whole experience of how East Coast based it was. Were you, when you got involved in like alt porn with Joanna Angel and just porn in general, were you still on the East Coast in New York?
I was actually living in New York City, and so I was originally just booked for it was, I don't know who originally bought it, but it was originally supposed to be like a Playboy or something like that movie. It's called Joanna Angel Gets Totally Fucked Out of the Shower. And that was like my first scene ever.
I just love how like porn used to just be so direct back then. I feel like now it's all about like romance and like sensual, and like that's so much of the industry. And back then it's just like,
I guess it depends on like who makes it also. I think it's whoever makes it. And no, Joanna Angel's like her stuff is like just funny. Like everything Joanna's ever made is really funny. And that's why I love like, I mean, I do mostly Joanna's movies. That's what I do now. Like I don't really get booked for like pro stuff that much. I do like webcamming and OnlyFans. And I do like, if I'm like, hey Joanna, you should book me for something. She's like, okay. So she'll like write a movie and she'll like put me in it.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So my first time shooting, I kind of watched porn a little bit, but not really. And then I'd watch a few trailers on Burning Angel, and then I shot, and she's like, Jessie, you can be louder. I was like, okay. So then that's how Jessie Lee started.
That's so cool. So what were you doing when you started deciding to do porn? What were you in New York for?
So I was living out there because I don't know, I just love New York. But I actually, before that, I was a stripper in Baltimore.
Oh, okay. I actually know quite a few Baltimore people in porn and sex work adjacent.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not from Baltimore, but I lived in Maryland for 2 years. I'm actually from Buffalo, New York originally.
Oh, okay. I can feel that. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan. So I feel like that like secondary sort of, even though Buffalo is like on the East Coast, I kind of always consider it a little bit Midwestern.
Yeah, I guess it's weird though, because it's like, it's kind of considered Midwestern because everyone says pop.
Oh, you say pop too?
Well, I don't say it, but people of Buffalo say pop. My family says pop, and I just laugh when I go back there and hear them say it.
Yeah, I have too much peer pressure. So like I was solely pop until I moved to California. Then like a week later, I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna start saying soda again.
Because people are like, what the fuck is pop? I was like,
right? I'm like, you don't know.
Like soda pop. But yeah, so I'm originally from Buffalo, and then I moved to Maryland for a couple of years and started dancing. And then I moved to New York City. And I was doing a bunch of like alt porn, like websites like Deviant Nation and Broken Dolls and stuff like that. And it moved from like doing photos to like doing photos for Burning Angel when I first moved to New York. And then I went from like doing photos to like just doing video and being one of the top girls. So I was like, all right.
That's so cool. So what, like, were you just like around Joanna Angel and that's kind of how it happened? Or were you like looking out for like alt porn sites? Because wasn't this like the same time as like, did Burning Angel predate Suicide Girls?
No, Suicide Girls is first, but they're just doing photos. They're like the they're like that, you know, like in porn you have like the pretty girls where
Yeah.
girls act all pretty, and then you have like the fucking hardcore porn sex dolls. Well, I feel like Suicide Girls is still stuck in the pretty girls, and then Burning Angels is like, oh, I'm gonna fucking gangbang and do this and do that. Like they're like raunchy sex dolls.
That's what I
At
think I
least
liked
they
the most
were
about
though.
it.
I feel like that's what Burning Angel was though. Like it used to be like a whole community. Like Burning Angel used to have like it was like board like chat boards. Like it used to be a complete like community, and like, and then over the years after it got more mainstream, it stopped being more of a community and being more like just where all the hot tattoo girls are. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Burning Angel just saw such a change in the industry because by the time I got in, tattoos were so normalized. When you got in, were they still really a taboo thing?
oh god, like I never worked for any company. So I worked for Burning Angel from 2007 until like I think 2010 is when I worked for another company. And I worked for Stormy Daniels' movie for Wicked. Or
Oh wow.
I think I worked for her because I was like playing like a groupie, like a DJ groupie. So I had like a really funny threesome. It was fucking hilarious. And then I got booked for Into Angels.
Oh, okay.
It was
I
like
totally know that site.
yeah, well, no, it's not the Inked Angels site. It's a movie
Oh.
called Inked Angels. It was like it was an Evil Angels film, and I think originally like Cleo got booked for it, but she couldn't do it, so she's like, hey, book Jessie instead. So I was just like, but by default get booked for it. But yeah, I mean, even now it's still hard to like get booked for anything because everything's all about the stepmom stepdaughter stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't really look like a stepmom because I'm covered in tattoos, and I'm 38, but I look like I'm like in my young 20s. So I'm still in that other category, and it sucks, but I'm just like, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. It's just so strange how the industry has like, I feel like tattoos became so normalized for a while.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like the whole aesthetic of the industry kind of changed. Like it being all the AVNs being at Hard Rock, I feel like kind of changed from what it used to be.
A little bit. And I feel like people like Joan Angel like kind of like made people like made tattoos more common. Like people like Joan Angel, Belladonna, you know, for like this old school porn people.
I mean, total Belladonna fangirl.
I love Belladonna. I love her so much. And then I worked for her a couple times too. I love her so much.
What did you shoot with her?
So I did I forget what the movie's called, but I did a scene with Mr. Pete for her, and then like I did a thing where it was like she was kissing girls, so she paid me money to make out with her, and I was like, I hope she knows that I would do this for free or pay her to make out with me. I love her so much. I think she's like completely out of porn right now. I mean, I randomly saw her, like I was like with my ex-boyfriend who was getting his haircut like in like Beverly Hills, like at a barbershop, and like I originally saw her. She's like, hey, do you remember me? I was like, of course I fucking remember you. She's like, oh, so I mean, I hope she's doing good. So yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of sad how people just kind of disappear when they leave the industry.
Yeah.
Because there's like so many people that I genuinely really liked, even outside of their porn. And I'm just like, oh, I just wish I knew what they were doing now.
Exactly. Like I'll become friends with people on Facebook and stuff. So I'll see their like after porn lives. And I was like, oh, I'm so happy they're doing good now. So
yeah, I like there's a few performers who are doing more stuff under their like actual porn name. Like Sasha Grey is just a basic like Twitch streamer now.
Yeah, I love Sasha. Wholesome.
Yeah,
I love Sasha.
She's like the reason I got into porn, just because she was like not afraid to talk about stuff, but also shooting like the most hardcore shit possible.
And she's extremely intelligent too. Yeah. And that's what I love the most about her. She's like the nicest person. I actually haven't seen one of her porns before. I just like really? I just like know her as a person. So I'm like, I like met her through, you know, through porn. I like met her at conventions or something, or met her through like, you know, close like mutual friends. And
yeah, you guys were definitely like the same era of porn.
Yeah, like I definitely like became a friend. And I would like see her at like this party Cloak and Dagger a lot. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
When that was a thing.
Yeah, I feel you definitely should check out her porn. It's the most wild stuff I've ever seen. So she's like doing a gangbang, but like screaming at all the men in it. It's
Yes.
so amazing. It's like the thing that made me like I wasn't super into porn young, but like when I got into porn, I was like, okay, I want to do gangbangs. I want to do all these extreme things. But I wasn't like, oh, I can be like a normal person and like talk about like art and like politics and stuff. And then I saw like Sasha Grey talking about that. I'm like, oh, she's probably just like some softcore girl. And then I looked up her like gangbang where she's like fucking like 20 people and is just screaming at these men and calling them like tricks and shit. And it's just so amazing.
I'm so excited. I need to watch it. I don't know where I'm pretty sure if I go into Pornhub, I can find it. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it's around somewhere right now. I feel like that's kind of the weird thing about porn, that like porn of yourself when you were like 19 and 20 is just always kind of gonna exist in the world.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely like, I look at photos of me from like past like AVNs, and like I've been to a lot
Yeah.
of AVNs, like AVNs and conventions and stuff. I'm like, oh God, why didn't anyone let me leave the house to looking like that? Especially to take photos of people. Like I'm just like, oh dear God. I was like, why did I think that looked good?
I feel like I more have like the regret of just like, oh, why did I take that person as my date? And then being like, oh no, all my photos from that year have my ex in it now.
So the one year I took this guy from a pop punk, like a big pop punk band. I'm not gonna say the name of him or his band, but I brought him
Oh,
with
I
me.
mean, if you want to name his band, I mean, that's fine.
His band is called Pierce the Veil.
Oh shit. Yeah, I very much know Pierce the Veil.
Yeah. So
I've played in shitty metalcore
I
bands.
brought the guitars with me. Tony.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think he just got married. I don't know. But yeah, so he was like, oh, you should bring with you. And I never bring in a date to AVN with me ever,
Mhm.
ever, ever, ever. Because I'd rather just go alone or have like
Yeah.
Joanna as my date, you know, or Bernie Angels as my date. But yeah, he told me he wanted to go with me to AVN. He's like, oh, you should bring me with you, just because it's like, you know, band guys like, oh yeah, porn stars
Of
bring for your
course.
date, you
Yeah.
know. And like, you know, we had like seats on the ground, like seats on the floor, like
Mhm.
actual seats. So I got him like as my date, and like he like he got like fucking wasted before AVN. Like I'm straight edge. Like I don't drink. I haven't drank
Yeah.
in like well over a decade. Well over a decade. But yeah, he got fucking wasted, and like he was like taking photos of me that I was posting and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. It's my hot date. I don't care. Like I didn't want anything else from him. Like I was like, oh, I just want this like hot tattoo guy as my date. Like I don't give a shit
Yeah.
about his band, nothing like that, you know? But yeah, like he got wasted, and like we're sitting down for the carpet. Like, and I got a custom dress and stuff like that. I think Bella Medina made me my dress that year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think she made me my dress that year.
I love
Her
how these
or
podcasts are connecting now where I'm like,
yeah, either
okay, now we can reference this one.
I don't know if it was Bella Vendetta or if it was Lindsay Hartz who does like
Mm.
Foxblood. So I forget which one. I think maybe it was Bella. I think it was Bella. Yeah, because she like yeah, it was. So he like got wasted, and like we're sitting down, and like the awards like maybe are like 10 minutes in, and he's like, can we leave? I was like, it literally just started, and then he's just so drunk and so wasted. I'm like, this is obnoxious. So I'm like, I felt like I was fucking babysitting. And then all the photos that I posted, he's like, yeah, so my band told me that they want you to take down the photos. Like, listen, this was my weekend. You're just my date. Like, his band told him that he needed to take down the fucking photos from my event that he was a date at. I was like, what the
What
fuck?
the
I was like,
fuck?
yeah. So I'm like,
Also,
fuck
like,
this guy.
why? They're like not like a Christian band or like
Well,
something like that.
so here's the thing. So any like heartthrob in the fucking like music community or whatever, like I know this
Yeah,
from like
yeah.
I've like fucked around with a lot of like important people, I guess, in music, and like fucking girls, like fangirls are fucking vicious. So
Yeah,
like
there's some crazy shit.
girls were like giving me like death threats and stuff like that because I was a porn star. I was
That's
like,
so
he was
fucked
my
up.
date. It was his idea to be my date. Yeah. So fuck that bad. Fuck that guy. Yeah, he was awful. Awful.
Yeah, that's I
So
yeah, I
that
was involved with the metalcore scene before I got
uh
into porn, and the drama there is just so much bigger and so more dramatic and just so much, it's just so dumb.
It's so funny because like all those guys, they want to like look cool that they're like with they're like with the porn star. They want people to know that they're like hanging out with the porn star. It's like, oh, God, I'm not gonna be your fucking like, I'm not gonna be your bragging rights. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's
also
awful.
like those metalcore bands never get in any situation that's ever anything close to AVN. Like
Exactly.
there's nothing like that for them. It's just playing at like maybe 1,000 capacity venues and shit.
That's it.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Yay,
like
bad dudes.
I know, I'm like, if I can talk shit about metalcore, I have so much there.
Well, also here's the thing. So like these guys, like they don't want me posting. Like, I mean, I like dated a few like dudes that are in bands, but like their bands are like not even that great, and they didn't
Mm.
even like want me posting photos of them. But then I have Dave Navarro. Dave Navarro, he's like he'll like post photos of us together. I mean, I like
Yeah, Dave
dated.
Navarro is super involved in
I mean,
porn.
I like dated him like briefly, but yeah, I mean we're
Oh,
friends.
damn.
Yeah, we're friends, you know. But it's like he'll like post me and like come on, motherfuckers. Like Dave's way more important than you guys. So and
It-
also so you know Fat Mike from NoFX.
yeah, definitely.
So he wrote a song about me.
Oh my God, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
his wife is like my dream femdom to work with. She's
Oh,
like
so him
such
and
a babe.
Soma
Yeah,
aren't
like,
together anymore. They're not
oh,
together.
okay.
Yeah, they haven't done it. But I actually knew Soma before Mike knew her. And when
Oh,
he was
okay.
the first time he met her, he was like he knew that I knew her, and he was like, oh, you know, like I was like, oh my God, I love Soma. You're gonna love her so much. And then that was that. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like that kind of punk I just like never really keep up with. Like I had a roommate who was super into NoFX, and then I don't know, just ever since I just never really kept up with like that whole skate punk vibe.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the only punk scene, I feel like the only punks that I know are like the people making the music.
Mm.
That's it. Like I'm just like friends with the bands. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like most of my band ties are like a little bit distant. Like I'm friends with the singer of Against Me. We hang out occasionally. She's
I
really
love
cool.
her.
Yeah, she's really great.
I've never met her, but I'm like such a fan. I would totally
Yeah, you
fangirl if I like saw Laura.
yeah. We hung out at it was like a trans 100 thing for like trans activists. And we were
Aww.
both in it, but we were both like after the party and we were like, oh, we want to find weed. So we ended up smoking in this like gross alley in Chicago that was like filled with rats. It was like one of the weirdest experiences.
That's so great.
Yeah. But so like music was obviously like a really big part of like Burning Angel early on. Like were you
Yeah.
pretty involved in like the music scene that was kind of going on in the East Coast at the time? Because it felt like there was like a lot of like metalcore bands, hardcore bands, like even emo stuff because like My Chemical Romance, like Taking Back
Yeah.
Sunday, we're from Jersey. Like what was that like really involved in your life before you got into alt porn?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely like, I loved music and I loved Warped Tour and
Oh
Bamboozle, and
yeah.
that was a thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Bamboozle. I don't know. I just like, I've always loved music and I've loved
Hmm.
going to shows. And even like Burning Angel, like they did band interviews. And
Yeah.
because I have a lot of, you know, I have a lot of friends who are in bands, I would get a lot of the bands for interviews for it. It was just like, it was 7 questions, but it's like, I would, you know, I would do it. And also, so sometimes for tours, I would actually interview the bands. I remember interviewing Cancer Bats.
Oh yeah, I definitely
like
remember that
like
band. Yeah.
Liam, they're Canadian and I'm from Buffalo, so it's pretty much Canada.
Yeah. So
Um,
you know the you know all the Canadian
yeah,
stuff.
so we just like talked about Canada most of the interview, and I don't know. I've interviewed like I don't know. Yeah, I love music, and I just that's what I meant. Like Burning Angel used to be like more of a community because it used to be
Yeah.
like Burning Angel used to have tours. Also, like they had a tour called Hardcore Meets Hardcore, where it was like hardcore bands and hardcore porn. So
That's the
me,
coolest fucking thing.
yeah. So
That's so cool.
I went on a few tour dates for that, and like just like and like one in like Western Massachusetts, one in Buffalo, and one in Pittsburgh. I went to those 3 days or whatever, and I like gave out like videos and stuff like that, and like emceed and stuff. So
That's so badass.
yeah,
I wish I knew that was happening. I've done some screenings with like hardcore bands before and screening porn. And I didn't know anyone else ever did that. I didn't know there was like a formalized thing that Burning Angel did. That's so badass.
I think it was only that one tour they did a hardcore. It was like this band called American Me. I don't know who they are. Yeah, it was like
yeah, I think I saw them like open on a tour. They weren't like super big, were they?
I don't think so. No, I mean it was like small venues. Like it was like this like small venue in Holyoke, Massachusetts. I mean, I knew like everyone in the scene in Massachusetts, so it's like all of my friends there. And then they went to this Broadway Joe's in Buffalo, which was like a very, very small venue. So, and then some other place in Pittsburgh, which was kind of like a shithole venue. I forget what the venue was called, but yeah.
That's just so cool that like it was so involved with that whole music scene, because that was like such a, you know, like real music scene, that there was so many bands at the time there too, like in that part of the country.
Well, also I think it's also Burning Angel, you know, they change with age, you know, just like everyone who's doing a lot of stuff for Burning Angel, like myself and Joanna, like we're like Joanna's in her 40s and I'm like close to 40. So it's like, you know, we can't really like do the same stuff as we used to when we were in 20s. Yeah. So I feel like it's just definitely like the same with like music too. Like music, yeah, there's like smaller shows and stuff like that, but it's like not the same as it used to be. Like 10 years ago, like the way shows used to be 10 years ago is not the way it is now. So yeah.
I haven't been to a show since the pandemic. I can't even imagine what it's like anymore.
I've gone to a lot of shows. I think the last actual show other than like a festival, I think the last show I went to was at the Wiltern. It was Census Fail, Bayside, and Bomb
I know some of those people too at Census Fail.
I love Census Fail. So Greg, the bassist, he's from Buffalo, but like I've known like Buddy for a while. I've known Buddy for like a decade or whatever. But yeah, like I was with my friend at one of their shows, and she worked for Schecter Guitars. And so Greg was like looking for a new bass. He was like looking, because she was like, oh, you should like these guitars. Like, oh, I have a friend at Fender. He's like, really? I was like, yeah. So I got him hooked up with Fender, and now he's sponsored by Fender because of me.
Oh damn, that's so badass.
So yeah, so now I have like guest lists for life for Census Fail, because I helped my friend get sponsored. So
that's really cool. Yeah, Buddy actually reached out to me. I was doing a campaign to remove slurs from trans porn, and he was like really behind it and retweeted it and all this stuff.
Buddy's so great.
Like, yeah, I'm just like, oh, okay. I know Census Fail, but that's great.
Sorry, my phone's like going off.
Oh, you're totally good.
Turn
on. Yeah, I love that. I just love that it was so much about also like the music scene and stuff on the East Coast, because when I got into porn, I think the first year I went to AVN, Joanna Angel was hosting it. So at that point, she was already like the big porn star, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like it's just like really
I was at that one.
Yeah, where it was like, whoa, this is like what mainstream porn is now.
Yeah, my two favorite AVNs is the one that she hosted, and then the one that Tommy Pistol hosted the year prior. Did you see that one?
Actually, that might have been my first one. Joanna might have been my second, but yeah.
Oh my god, Tommy Pistol was fucking amazing. He's such a great, like I was just like laughing thinking about it. Like it was amazing. It was so great. Yeah.
I really want to have him on this podcast. Like he's just such a charismatic, just good guy, and I feel like that's so rare in the porn industry, that you have someone that likable and just like universally beloved by everyone.
Yeah, so I actually did his comeback scene.
Oh really?
When he came back to the industry, Joanna had me do it. It was so it's called Suitcase Pimp.
Oh, I've heard of this at least. Yeah.
So it was Joanna. So me and Joanna were in her closet looking for a shirt. And I was like, oh, what's in that suitcase? She was like, I don't know. That suitcase has been there for years. So it's a big suitcase. And we like unzippered it. And Tommy's like in there. And he like had like a full beard and stuff like that. And like, yeah, we're just like, so we had to shave him and like bathe him and stuff. And it's like so good. Like his fucking reactions were so amazing. Like everything he did was so good. Like I'm just like laughing, like just thinking about the entire scene. You have to watch it. Called Suitcase
I
Pimp.
definitely need to look that up because I knew the vague thing about it, but I didn't realize he was literally in the suitcase.
Yes.
That's so ridiculous.
It was
Yeah.
like the best thing. It was like seriously like my like that, and I did a scene with them called, it was a spoof on Killer Clowns from Outer Space called Killer Cleavage from Outer Space. And I was sent to Earth from Planet Areola because it's a big boob movie. Planet Areola to find like the perfect penis to save our planet. And Tommy had the perfect penis, but he was, so you know, people wear like the tinfoil hats.
Yeah.
He wore a tinfoil diaper.
Oh my.
And it was so funny. I've done so many scenes with Tommy that when I first started doing them, I had to like stop in the middle of the scene to laugh, to stop laughing. They're like, all right, Jessie, when you're done laughing, we'll film again. But after a while, it's just like, it's still like, it's so hard to not laugh your ass off.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's so hard to stay in character around him.
I just think it's so cool that there's like so many different kinds of porn, that there's like straight up comedy porn that exists.
Yes.
That's like super hot and like can be super hardcore, but also just has parts that are just like totally hilarious.
Yeah, I think it's just Joanna Angel's really good at writing just extremely intelligent and funny porn. She's just really good at making it really sexy. So she's a mastermind.
Yeah, I guess
I mean,
I didn't
she's
realize...
also my best friend, so you know I'm kind of biased. So.
Yeah, I totally feel that. I feel like it's when you don't know about, like, when I was introduced to alt porn, I didn't realize it was so much just like, oh yeah, these people are just friends, and then they created this thing that became so big.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because when you see it from a distance, you're like, oh, Burning Angel's this huge thing, and there has to be all this money behind it and all this stuff, but she just created out of her like dorm room at Rutgers, right?
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Do you know, so I started filming in 2007. So September of 2007 was my first porn ever. It was like right after my birthday in September.
Yeah.
And then I remember I did 3 scenes. I was originally booked for 1, but then she was like, oh, we need to book you for 2 more. So she booked me for 2 more scenes, like day after day. So that weekend I did 3 scenes, like, oh, extra money. And I was like working at Starbucks at the time. So I was like, oh, cool. Like 1 scene is like my entire week's pay at Starbucks, you know? But yeah, like, I got booked again for 6 scenes in LA, like day after day after day. And it was all in like houses that were like for like squatting houses, you know, just like,
so it was like, wow.
Well, I don't know if it was like squatter houses or if it was, I mean, it was like kind of just like rundown houses. So it's like they shot wherever because, you know,
so kind of punk.
Yeah, like Burning Angel used to put out, they used to put out 1 photo set every 2 weeks and 1 video every month. That's what they used to put out. Yeah. So, and then after a while, they're putting out like a video every 2 weeks and then a video every week. And then now it's like, I don't know how many times they put out stuff because it's owned by Gamma. So it's not like it's not Joanna owned anymore. Yeah, it's not
Joanne and Joel running it. Yeah.
So it's just like, it's part of like a big company now. But yeah, like it used to just be like there used to be like message boards and stuff like that where I would like go in there and like chat with people, and people used to vote on like their favorite girl and stuff like that. So it was kind of like like I said, it was a community, and it was like, you know, just like it was very like super fucking punk rock. And then like, you know, everyone wants to make more money. So, you know, it started making more money.
Yeah, I feel like that's how it eventually happens. It just eventually gets big enough that it just becomes too big for that.
Yeah, and like they used to shoot just girls that only had tattoos, you know, and then they started shooting like a lot of like industry girls, not just industry girls, but like girls that are like, you know, Spiegler girls.
And like where it becomes
like when like my first I don't know 5-6 years in Burning Angel, maybe 8 years of Burning Angel, like it was only girls who looked like me, you know. And now it's like, and then I moved to like girls that look nothing like me. I was like, all right. And it was just the idea.
It was just such a whole thing. Like there were so many alt porn sites. Like I was a part of God's Girls back in the day.
Oh my god.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Oh man, fucking God's Girls.
I'm like so happy I was involved in it, but also like that was like $40 photo sets and stuff. And I'm just like, okay. I did a photo set. I got $40 3 months later, but it's okay.
Yeah. So my first time ever shooting photos for anything was for Suicide Girls, and they're like, oh yeah, it was like when I was living in like Frederick, Maryland. So I was like, no, it was like an hour from DC, an hour from Baltimore. So it was like kind of in that weird like triangle, whatever.
Yeah.
So they had me shoot with a girl who like lived like, I don't know, like maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours from me, and like near like York, Pennsylvania, I think. So it was like nowhere near me. And they're like, oh yeah, shoot with this girl. And I got there and she's fucking high. And she's like, oh, she like this and that. And like, so Suicide Girls literally waited 4 months to tell me that they're rejecting my set. Because it was my first set I ever shot. My first naked set I ever shot ever, you know? They're like, oh yeah, we think you can do better next time. I was like, why would you wait 4 months to tell me? So I was like, fuck this. I'm going to do Broken Dolls. I'm going to do AVN Nation. I'm going to do Burning Angel. There's like, in Baltimore, there's a thing called Ninja Girls.
Oh, what is that?
So you know, Driven Star and like Annie Sandimas.
For sure.
So Annie Sandimas and Driven Star were like two of the other girls that ended up doing professional stuff that were shooting for that too. And then there's another one called Nerd Girls. I shot it in Brooklyn. I don't know. There's like all these different girl alt sites that I shot for, whatever. I was like, I had no idea how to pose. I was like, oh God, these photos are awful. So.
Yeah, I feel like that's just such a specific era of porn where there's like all these little tiny sites that were trying to kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
So what made you move to LA? Like what made that jump?
So I was living in New York, and I would fly to LA. I would just like fly to LA, like, I don't know, like 3 times a year or whatever to shoot. And then the more I would be out here, I would just fall in love with it. And I remember the one time, this was in like 2010, like this was like March of 2010 was like the last time I had shot out here before I moved out here. And I spent like 2 weeks out here. Like I think I shot for Belladonna, and I shot for Burning Angel, and I just like worked at Crazy Girls in Hollywood. Yeah, like I remember getting on the flyway bus to go from Union Station to get to LAX, and I'm just like, as I'm like driving away from LA to the airport, I started like crying and like tearing up, and I was like, oh my God, I need to move out here. Because it was like New York is like okay, but it's for me it's very toxic. Like if I spend,
really intense place.
Yeah, if I spend too much time in New York City, I just feel like it's not very good for me, because it's like people are just like, it's like cutthroat and hustling and this. I guess it just depends on like who you hang out with too. But if you're just like there by yourself, it's like it's a lot. And I was like living in Brooklyn at the time, in Bed-Stuy, so I was like,
oh yeah, I spent a lot of time there
in like a shitty little apartment right by the projects. Yeah, it was like right by the Marcy. I could like outside of my window, I could see the Tompkin houses. Yeah, so it was like not in a good area. But you know, I wasn't unsafe. You know, I was like this fucking short girl with like a fucking mohawk, covered in tattoos. Like nobody wanted to fuck with me.
Yeah, no one wanted to fuck with you.
So, but yeah, so that happened in March, and then I was like, all right, I need to go to LA. I need to move to LA. So I started packing up my stuff, and I was mailing my stuff to my friend in Hollywood, and she was like keeping my boxes of stuff because she had room for it. I was like, all right, thanks. This girl Hannah. But yeah, so I was gonna move out there in November, I believe. That's when I was supposed to move out there, and then or maybe it was right after Thanksgiving is when I was supposed to move out there. But I went to one last convention in Jersey, Exotica, because I knew I'd like
Mhm.
make extra money. And that's when that crazy fatal event happened. So I was in
What
2010.
what
So
happened?
I was in a near fatal car accident on my way to
Oh
Exotica.
my God.
Yeah, and I died for 5 minutes in a car
Oh my
accident.
God.
Yeah, so my life just kind of just like flipped completely around. So I was like, I like had all my stuff at the strip club because I like the strip club I worked at in Massachusetts. Like I like they have like dorm style living upstairs,
Yeah.
like on the third floor. So I would just have all of my stuff there, all my valuables and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like because I was like just moving because I was moving out of New York and I moved to Massachusetts until I moved to New York. So I had all my stuff there, and I was like, oh, I'll just like go down to like New York for like a weekend and come back up here and work some more. But
Yeah.
no, I was in a car accident. I was in the NICU, the neurological ICU for
Wow.
fucking 13 days. And then
Oh
I
my
was like,
God.
yeah, I was in a fucking coma for 4 days. Yeah. Cause I had like a TIA, which is a mini stroke and all that stuff. And yeah, I couldn't like walk or I couldn't even imagine even dancing around in heels. But
Yeah,
yeah.
how long was it until you could walk again?
So I needed assistance walking for like a month.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was in physical, occupational, and cognitive therapy for 2 months before I moved back to LA. And I was just like I was supposed to be in LA at that time, and just knowing that I was stuck in like Buffalo at my mom's place, and it was like
Yeah.
cold and snowy, and I was like depressed as fuck because there's like no sunlight, and I was like stuck inside, and yeah, I was like it was awful. It was a horrible time in my life.
Yeah, how did you get through that? I mean, I can't imagine being in that position, especially as like with porn and stripping and just sex work in general, like your whole career is basically your body doing what you need it to do. Like it's just so amazing
Yeah.
that you overcame that.
Well, I'm like really happy. So, so Joanna had like put out some stuff. Well, Burning Angel put out some stuff saying like, "Oh, help donate to Jessie," because I wasn't able to work. I had nothing. I wasn't able to do
Yeah, for
anything.
sure. You're out
So,
of everything.
so they raised money for me. I was able to like like get by, and like even the money that they raised for me, I was able to like use to like when I finally moved to LA, like for rent and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and like I got a settlement and stuff like that, so I had some money from that. So I was like living off of that until I can actually work again.
Yeah, what was that first shoot back like? Like, I can't imagine all the emotions that had to go into that.
It was for Burning Angel. It was a movie called Kung Fu Pussy, and it was like, and there's like, and yeah, it was different. It was, I mean, thank God Tommy Pistol was in a movie.
Oh, it was with Tommy
Yeah,
Pistol?
yeah. I mean, my scene with him. It was like I was in a scene with it was me, Cleo Valentine, Mr. Pete, and Tommy Pistol. We are all four in a scene. We're having like a
So
fuck
it was a
off.
group sex scene was your first scene
Well,
back?
it wasn't group sex scene. We weren't having sex with each other. It was just like
Mhm.
two separate people having sex next to each other.
Okay.
Or yeah. So two separate sexes happened.
Yeah.
I was like, how do I phrase that?
Yeah, I don't know how to frame that, but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
We're having like a fuck off. Like me and Cleo were like
Hmm.
having a competition with who can fuck better next to each other. So yeah, I don't know. I have to watch the movie again because it was like
So how long was it from your accident until you got back to performing?
my accident happened in November and I filmed that in March.
Wow.
And I was not completely healed. I'm still not completely like healed. And this was like what? How long ago was that? 21. I can't even think right now.
That's like 10, 11 years ago. 11,
11
right?
years. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
11 years.
2021 now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
11
like
years.
what were you feeling though? Like just getting back on set and doing that? Like, did you feel just like really ready to do it, or were you kind of apprehensive about it?
I don't know. I think I don't really remember what my thought process was at that time,
Mm,
but I don't know. It just like felt like I'm just trying to return back to normal, I guess.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I
yeah.
can I can totally understand that. I feel like I would just be like, oh my God, I'm just so ready to shoot porn again.
Yeah, I
Like,
was like, I think also because I hadn't really like worked and I was living off of like whatever my settlement was. So
mhm.
I'm like, oh, I need to start working so I can afford to
Yeah.
live on my own because I didn't want to like live on people's couches. For like a while, I was like living on Joanna's couch. So I was like living out of 2 suitcases with everything in like storage. And I was like, all right. So
So then so you moved out to LA after all that, and then you had the rest of your porn career essentially happen after that.
yeah, pretty much.
That's so impressive.
I mean, I feel like I already had a name for myself like before it happened, but I feel like I actually like I don't know. I feel like the OG alt porn people like know who I am like from
Hmm.
that time, but like that was like back in like my red hair days. Like if you remember my red hair, that was like my old self was my red hair days, and then
Hmm.
my short blonde days, and then the long blonde days and the dark hair days are like my after accident.
Wow, that's
So yeah.
like, I'm just like so happy that I could talk to you and like learn that about you. I had no idea like that's what
Yeah.
happened in your career. That's like just really like such a badass resilient thing that you did, that you were able to come back and like do all that.
Yeah, and like not only did I come back in porn, I like took time off from porn and I like got a fucking I went to school for hairstyling. Like I went to Paul Mitchell, graduated. I'm a professional hairstylist.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna go to culinary school soon. I'm just like I like to do everything.
That's so badass. So you took a break from porn for a while and you're kind of coming back in the last like few years, right?
Yeah, like I took like a 4-year break because it was like I like what we talked about like outside of uh, before this about
Mhm.
that porn is really like kind of just like tattoos are still kind of taboo, and I feel like
Yeah.
I before all the girls had like tattoos everywhere. Like I had tattoos, I covered in tattoos,
Yeah.
but it was so hard for me to get work, and like I was only working like maybe once or twice a year for Brain Angel, and that was it. And like it's just really hard. So I was like, I need to do something else. I need to focus my attention on something else. And I told Joanna,
Hmm.
I was like, Joanna, I'm bored. I need something to do. She's like, why don't you just go to school for hair? She's like, you're really good at it. I was like, oh, okay. So I did because Joanna told me to.
Oh, that's so I love that you guys are like such genuine real friends. Like I feel
Yeah.
like that's so amazing when you find that in porn. Like you
Yeah.
find the people that can make
We,
movies with you and then also just be like, hey, maybe you should do something out of porn for a little bit.
yeah. So I took like a 4-year break from porn to do hair. And then I missed porn. I still do
Yeah.
hair. I have like a salon set up in my apartment. Like a little
Oh,
home
that's so
salon. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I do mostly men's cuts. So I do like a lot of like, like quick in and out. I do some color too, but it's like I mostly just do haircuts because that's just my passion.
That's so
So
cool. Yeah, actually, I have a friend who's in porn who I was hanging out with yesterday, who's a barber who's doing out of their place in Brooklyn right now.
oh, who?
Their name's Aston Reed. They're a trans guy performer. Really like cute
Oh,
and twinky. He's like 5'2", the gayest person I've met, I swear.
amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like there's definitely like the cosmetology crossover with porn.
Yeah.
I feel like we've all been on so many sets and had our makeup done and hair done so many times. I feel like it's just
Yeah.
a little bit of a natural thing. And just doing your own for all these shoots too.
Yeah, and like even like before I got in the hair, like I was living in New York City and I didn't want to fucking spend like $150 on getting my hair
For
done. So
real.
I'll do it myself. A lot of times when I fried a lot of my hair off, it's
Oh,
fine, it's cool. A lot of times when I like gave myself like awful looking bangs when I cut them too short, but it grows back. It's fine. But it's
that's
all
of
like
the era though. Like
yeah.
frying your hair is what you're supposed to do in like the late 2000s when you're alternative. Like
Or
I
like
read it.
having the blonde hair where like nobody wanted to get their hair done professionally. You just have like little bands of color where you like
Mhm, yeah.
didn't get everything completely white and you like miss a couple spots. That's just kind of growing up.
Yeah,
Or
and
like
knowing all
your
the manic
eyebrows
panic colors.
or your eyebrows. oh my god, my eyebrows, like I had to get them tattooed because they're so thin, because I just, you know, the 90s weren't very nice on my eyebrows. In the 90s, early 2000s, I like had like really thin eyebrows because Gwen Stefani had really thin eyebrows. Everyone wanted to look like Gwen Stefani.
That's definitely an era. Like, yeah, like the 2000s were so crazy for style. Like I dated a girl who had like the raccoon like clip-ins and all that stuff.
Oh my
Like
god, that's
that
super
was
scene
such a
hair.
look. I know, right? It was such a look. So I have a few more questions for you. It's been so great to chat with you, and I feel like I've learned so much about both alt porn and you, and I'm just really stoked that we got to chat. But
Yay.
so you've done a lot in your porn career. Is there something that you still wish that you could do that you haven't gotten to do yet?
In porn, I mean, so I stopped doing boy girl stuff unless it's
Mhm.
like with my boyfriend on my OnlyFans, so it's a lot of POV stuff. But I mean, I feel like I've done a lot. I mean, I did anal before I stopped doing boy girl, so I'm okay with that. I mean, actually, like I still do kind of do anal a little bit, although so I did anal twice professionally on film, and like for like actual like companies, someone else recording it. And they're both with Isaiah Maxwell.
Oh, nice. They're so great.
Jonah's like, she's like, she had me like, because I did like my first pro anal for her. I mean, I've done like anal a couple times before that with toys and stuff like that, but I've only literally like before doing it on camera, I only did it like maybe twice in my personal life. But yeah, like she's like, all right, who do you want to pick for your first anal? Like Isaiah Maxwell. She's like, you're gonna pick Isaiah Maxwell as your first anal? She's like, wow, Jessie. I was like, all right, cool. Because he's huge. I was like,
Yeah,
all right. But he's
definitely.
like, but he's not like super wide. Like he's not like super wide, like fucking like Alex Legend or Jesse Jones. You know, he's more like, you know, skinny but long. So it's like perfect for the butt, you know? Perfect.
Yeah, whenever I do scenes with men, it's pretty rare. I'll do it like once every few years. And I'm just like, as long as the cock size isn't notable, I'm like, it's fine. But I just feel like there's just so much, I prepped so much into like going into anal scenes because my first few scenes, I didn't do enough prep. And I was like in so much pain afterwards. So I've like really heavily do anal training. Do you really do much anal training before scenes?
So I mean, I don't know why, but the last time I did anal, I did it for a live webcam, but it was also like, I feel like I was rushed that day. So I wasn't really like, the mindset wasn't really there. So I feel like I was just like rushing in. When you're not in the right mindset, your butthole doesn't relax. So then it tightens and then you get rips. So I feel like that's what happened last time I did anal. So and it kind of scares me. It's like I haven't done anal since. I haven't even like, I think I've like stuck like a thin glass dildo up my butt, but it's like, yeah, it's just like, I just really like things in my pussy. So,
That's
you know,
how...
and then down my throat, you know.
I feel like it has to be so much easier to not shoot anal for porn scenes because you can actually eat on set.
Oh my God. I love coffee. I love coffee and I'm vegan. So I love I like stuff that I shouldn't be eating on set. So yeah, when I did like my anal for Burning Angel, I was like, we need to shoot it early on. She's like, all right. I was like, I need my call time to be 10 a.m., 9 or 10 a.m. because I need to fucking eat. And I was like really hungry. And I was like, Joanna, I'm so hungry. She's like, just eat a little bit of chocolate. It's fine. Joanna's like the queen of anal. So I was like, all right, I'll take her.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But it was fine. It was a great fucking scene.
Porn.
Yeah.
I feel like Joanne Angel's porn is like the first porn I saw that's like DP, but it's just like a regular scene and a girl's getting DP'd. It's just like not even like a thing that's like, oh my God, this is so hardcore. It's just like, oh no, this girl's getting DP'd right now.
Yeah, like with me, like, cause I have like anal videos on my OnlyFans, but it's I only have like maybe 3 or 4 anal with an actual dick in my like for video. And so I sell my videos for like twice as much as like a normal one because it's like, you know, if it's like a 15-minute scene, I sell for $30, you know?
Oh yeah, that's definitely good.
But like Jonah's like, man, I wish I could do that. She's like, she's like, people won't even buy mine if it's not anal. Like, well, Well, that's how she made her name, is by doing anal. But she loves anal too, though. I'm still trying to get really into it. I mean, once I start doing it, I really like it, but it's like getting over that first hump, I guess.
I mean, you like legitimately have to like do stuff every day for it. I feel like I use a
Yeah.
lot of enjoy plugs, so if I'm doing like an anal scene, I'll just wear it like for maybe like 2 hours a day for a full month. Because then at some
Oh
point, like
wow.
you can just be able to handle it. The last scene I did, it was like a softcore lesbian scene, but I only did like 1 day of anal training and I was in so much pain
Uh,
afterwards. Because I'm like, oh, it's just like a softcore scene, it's fine. And then the person like fucked me really hard. Just like,
oh
oh,
no.
it was good though. I feel like that's just part of porn though. Sometimes like you just have to prepare and know what you're getting into, even if you think it's gonna be softcore.
Yeah, and the thing that sucks is like sometimes like, when you're like working with someone who's like very large and it like hurts a little bit, it's not something that's not their fault, it's not
No,
their fault,
definitely
it's not your
not.
fault. You have to kind of just like grin and bear it and like make it seem like it feels really good when it doesn't. I mean, it's not like they're like doing something that you didn't agree to. It's just like
No, yeah, not at all.
that's how it happens. You just kind of, because you don't want to ruin the scene. Because if you stop and say, oh, it hurts a little bit, you have to like start it all over. And I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking grin and bear it. And like, and then it starts getting enjoyable. You're like, all right, I thought I grin and bared it.
Yeah, I also feel like whenever you're shooting like with real cock, because I shoot a lot of lesbian porn, that it's just
Mm.
like so much like, oh, we need this much of this, or else it's not going to be a full scene or whatever. Where like lesbian porn, I feel like it's like stopping the performers from fucking, where it's like, you need to stop now. We have an hour of footage, you know? Okay, so I have one more question for you.
Yes.
This is kind of the most out there question. If you could
Yes.
magically change one thing in porn that we all wake up tomorrow and it's different, what would it be?
Um. So I have done like the stepmom stuff before, but
Hmm.
it was like I did it for MILF.com, where it was
Hmm.
like where I didn't play the mom. I played like the stepmom, and it was like my stepdaughter. So it was like no relation whatsoever. I don't know. It was like, but it was like I wasn't having sex with her. I was like teaching her how to have sex with a guy. So it was like, that was kind of like, that was, but it's like, if that's in real life, that would be kind of like people like, ew, just like,
Oh,
I
for
don't know, like
sure.
the whole obsession with like fucking stepmom, stepdaughter stuff, because like the whole thing also, like I can't get booked for any of that stuff because I'm too covered in tattoos for all that stuff. Like
You're like
I'm
the
like,
alternative stepmom.
yeah, I mean, I get like, I get booked as like, the naughty wife and stuff like that. That's what I get. Like I'll get booked as that stuff. But it's like, it's so weird to like, it's like the fucking, it's kind of like the taboo kind of stuff. Like porn that's like super taboo, that's like, it's like very cringeworthy for me. And I was like, the obsession with it is like, it's too much for me. I wish there wasn't such an obsession with it. And I get it, like people are shooting it because people are also buying it,
Yeah.
and it's making people think, because it's so readily available, I feel like, and big companies are doing it, like it's just like, it's weird because it's so readily available, and it's like all over. You go to Pornhub, like everything on the fucking like
Yeah.
thing is like I just saw a thing for like I don't know, like being called mommy is weird to me. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, that's totally a thing now.
I've done something with like, like me and Mike Mancini and Brooklyn Gray, like long time ago. Like we did a thing where like me and him we called her our daughter. It's
Hmm.
before they dated, before him and her dated. Whereas like we're just like, oh, she's our daughter. She's like a young me. So I called her my daughter. But
Oh,
we did like a threesome, but it was like more like she was just like, I don't know, like her and I didn't really do much like girl stuff
yeah.
together, but it's just like that's the only thing. And like, when she calls me mom, I think it's funny, but it's like I don't see it and I don't sexualize it really,
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's like the only thing, is like we call it our adopted daughter. So it's
Hmm.
not even like a step, it's like adopted. So yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely been in some of those movies. It's so weird that I felt like in the beginning it was like, oh, there's like one or two weird like taboo incest movies, and now it's just like
It's like
normal,
all over the place. Like,
right? It's very
like
strange how that's
I wish
happened.
I wish incest wasn't so normalized. And like, yeah, they get away with it because they're like, oh, it's step. It's like, no, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
it's a little bit
It's
like
weird, man.
I'm fine with it being like a niche thing. I'm like, oh, that stuff can be hot occasionally. But like at the same time that it's now just basic porn is one of the weirdest twists in this industry, I feel
And
like.
it's so weird because it's like I won't work with anyone who looks too much younger than me or is too much younger, because then it's like it makes me like feel weird, because it makes me feel
Yeah.
like I don't know, predatory, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Like
mean, I can't imagine being on set with like a 19-year-old and fucking a 19-year-old. Like,
yeah, like that's why like most of the women that I shoot with are like tattoos, like super
mhm,
curvy, like because it's like, you know, when you're younger, you haven't really grown into the curves yet. And like even people that
yeah.
are older haven't grown into their curves. But yeah, like I feel like I like voluptuous women. Like I love voluptuous women. You know, like women with like nice hips and a nice booty,
Yeah.
and like even if they're fake tits, I don't give a shit 'cause I have fake
Yeah,
tits
all boobs
too.
are good boobs.
Yeah, I
Like
love
truly, I don't care if they're fake,
all
real. I
all
do
boobs
have to say
matter.
when I do touch fake boobs, I always just think about them being fake though. So I guess that kind of takes me out of it a little bit. But if they're
I
good
mean,
fake boobs, I'm like, wow, these are really good fake boobs. And if they're
I
bad,
like
I'm like,
mine.
oh, I hope they don't pop.
Well, it's also like I feel like getting them, I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna get really big boobs, like get them like, I don't know, get them so they don't look like balls on your chest, I guess. I don't
Some
know.
people like
Or
that
get
stuff. Some people want like the bad 90s plastic surgery look.
I mean, I wanted like super huge, like, I have like 700 cc silicone boobs, but they look really natural. And like
Yeah,
if you
I
could
didn't
see,
know.
I'm like, if you could see me, because the video is not on right now, but like I'm just like filling up my boobs. I'm like looking in the reflection of the screen at like my boobs, squeezing them.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like I've felt some really fancy fake boobs in porn, and I'm like, oh wow, I had no idea.
But yeah, so that's the thing I want to get rid of. I want to get rid of, if I can get rid of one thing in porn, is it's the fact that people are normalizing incest porn.
Yeah,
Like it's weird, man. It's just like cringe. Like
it is.
I have to stop following certain companies because I'm like, or putting them on mute or something like that, because I don't want that on my timeline, man. It's weird. Like I like sex with people who are not related whatsoever.
I also like, I don't know if this is just like a very insider thing that I'm into. I think lesbian porn, when you can tell they're both performers just like doing a shoot that they had planned together, is like hot as hell to me because I'm like, wow, these two girls planned for months to shoot together.
Yes.
Like, I think I'm so inside porn that I'm now like, oh wow, that's really hot that they did that. Like, that's really where I'm at right now, where I'm like, I don't want dialogue. I want to like be fine with what this is. Like, I know these are just two porn girls who are doing a content trade, you know?
Yeah, like I shot with Maddie May. Her and I did a girl, and then her and I did a threesome with my boyfriend, like a POV. And
Mhm.
it's just like, and like it's so like I had to like do a lot of editing, because so we're doing something where I was like riding him, and then I got off, and immediately she put her mouth on his penis, and like it felt so good. Like I don't think he's ever had the type of threesomes that I'm giving him
Mm.
in his entire life ever.
Is he not involved in porn at all?
No, but he's my porn
Oh,
star. So I made him an
that's
OnlyFans
great.
account called Daddy J Disney, Dizknee, Disney, because we
Yeah,
love Disney. So yeah, so like, and it's Daddy J because that's just what I call him because it's funny.
that's
um,
so cool.
but yeah, so yeah, he like fucking like he came like after she put her fucking mouth on him and then took it off.
Uh-huh.
He fucking like fucking came all over it. And then like there's a part of the video that I cut out where I'm like blocking the cup from my face with my hand. It's so funny. Like I'm like, no, don't squirt my face, because I had makeup on. But yeah, it was
See,
like
I'm like,
it
I
was so
want that
funny.
included. That's the realness I want in porn. I want to see the moment that's like, you can't come on my face. I have makeup on.
Well, also like we didn't want to have him talking because he wants to keep anonymous for the most
Yeah.
part. So we try to keep them as anonymous as possible during porn. Yeah. Right. Plus it's like, I don't want to, plus it kind of gives away, like, I mean, yeah, for us women, like, we like to hear the guy talk, but I feel like guys don't like to hear other guys talk during POVs because it like ruins the moment for them, because then they stop imagining it's them. But yeah, like, yeah, fucking Maddie is super hot.
That's so amazing. Yeah, I think it's really nice to date someone out of porn. I dated all people in porn for like most of my career until the last like 4 years, and I dated someone who had no idea about who I was, no idea about anything about porn, and it's been so refreshing, honestly.
Yeah, like last year, like we met off a website called Hinge.
Oh yeah, I know Hinge. Yeah, for sure.
So we met off Hinge, and yeah, like he picked me up for our first date, and he was like, so what does it mean by adult content creator? I was like, oh, I'm a porn star. He was like, oh, okay. And then I started to like him a lot, and I just didn't want to have sex with any other men, so I stopped doing boy girl. And then I was like, no, because I'm not doing boy girl anymore with other guys, I need a penis to use. He's like, all right. So he has a really nice penis, and it looks really good on camera, inside my mouth and my pussy and all that stuff. So
that's
I'm like,
the dream.
cool.
That's the dream. Just have a partner who will top you on camera. Like
how did I get so lucky, man?
It's really great. I've done a few of that with my partner too, where they're like, I'm fine to show my face. I'm like, no, you're not going to show your face. I don't want you to be subjected to all the porn things.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah. Well, it was so great to talk to you. Do you want to tell everyone where to find you on social media and stuff before we wrap it up?
So my OnlyFans and my Twitter are both OMG, it's Jessie Lee. My Instagram is Jessie X Lee, and it's JESSIE and then LEE, in case people, because a lot of people forget the I in Jessie.
Oh yeah. I guess there are a lot of ways to spell it.
Well, because it's like Jessie with a Y and Jessie with just an E is like the guy way of spelling it, but Jessie with an IE is the female way of spelling it. It's a more feminine way. Yeah. You ever know? It's just like Jessie Jones is JESSY. So
really?
my other friend Jessie Lee, he's JESSE.
No you know another Jessie Lee.
I do. I know a few Jessie Lees.
Oh wow. There's only one other Chelsea Poe, and she like goes to college at University of Indiana. And I kind of feel bad for her. Where I'm like, every time she looks up her name, it's just like trans porn all over the place.
There's also a couple singers. There's a singer called Jessie Lee. And then there's another model, Jessie Lee. I forget. She goes, but she doesn't use Jessie Lee. She uses Jessie Lee and then her last name. I think it's Patter something. I don't know. It starts with a P, I think. I don't know. But yeah, there isn't that many Jessie Lees. We'll find the correct Jessie Lee on social media. Thank you so much, Jessie, for talking. This was so much fun. This was so much fun. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye.